Hey guys, I'm back out in the state forest. I've scouted this forest before and I'm back out here to have a afternoon and morning hunt. I'll camp overnight. Looking forward to that. There's a good chance of a storm, so it might get a bit wet and wild. The wind is coming from the southwest and usually blows pretty cold, so I've got my storm gear ready to go. So I'll put some screen grabs up based on the e-scouting that I've done on Google Earth. This is my scouting plan for this afternoon with the wind coming from the southwest. I'm going to focus on this area of pine and native forest that's on the boundary of some private land to the northwest. I think the deer are travelling down through the pines and the native to get to the private land. So I'm going to focus on scouting out of the pines through the native and also into this open area here. With the wind heading from the southwest, the second area that I'm going to focus on this hunt is this area between the native forest and this private land. I think the deer will be bedding in the native area and traversing through this gully system that heads through some pine onto the private land to graze at night and then back to bed in the morning. I'll set up on these two hills to glass, the first one in the afternoon and then the second one the next morning. So that's the plan, and come along on the journey and hopefully we'll see some deer and harvest one. I've headed down this track heading to the pines. It's pretty thick going through the pines, but I know that there's an open area out ahead of me. Before I head to my glassing spot, I'm going to scout in this bit of pine forest here. I scouted it during the rut and it was very dry here. There was no fresh deer sign. It looks like there's more water now. These little creeks and gullies are running. So I found an active game trail along this little creek. Just got to make sure that I keep the wind in my face. It's a bit swirly. You can see that there's fresh sign here now. I'll follow this open area through. It leads into some native bush. We'll see what's over there. I came across this little pine tree that had really been smashed by a buck or a stag during the rut. I'll take a break and have something to eat as well, and then head over to the glassing area. Well, that sun's not going to do me any favours, but so far it's been pretty successful. I've seen quite a bit of sign, fresh sign, and clear indications that deer are moving from the private land on the boundaries of the forest into the forest. So that gives me some confidence to set up this afternoon for deer to be moving towards the private. That's all very good. Time to have a snack and a rest, and then I'll head back to that glassing spot that I've scouted for this afternoon. Our state forests are a tremendous resource, and it's such a privilege to be able to be out here and hunt. The benefits of hunting not only come from harvesting your own food, but helping manage feral animals in nature, and also the health benefits of getting outdoors. It's such a blessing to be able to unwind and hike hard and hunt and camp and reset. I'm heading into the glassing area that I scouted for this afternoon. It covers an open area that follows a creek that I saw deer sign. The deer had been using it to traverse between their bedding area and some private land that's on the boundary of the forest. So I'll set up on a rocky outcrop and do some glassing for the rest of the afternoon. Man, get through some of this thick stuff. It's hard going. It's great when you come across a open area or a trail. Well, this is the open area that I'll be scouting this afternoon. It's a pretty big area, and I can glass all the way down to the creek and beyond that. I'll be scouting with both the thermal and my binoculars. This is an image of a kangaroo at about 150 metres. You can clearly see the outline of it. Well, it's gone dark. I've packed up and I'm hiking back to camp. It's been a good day. I haven't seen any deer, but as I said, I've seen lots of sign and I've really enjoyed the day. So looking forward to tomorrow morning. I'm also looking forward to getting back to camp and having some dinner and getting some sleep. That's it for today. We'll see what happens in the morning. It's about an hour before shooting light. It's been a cold and drizzly night, but the sky is cleared and the moon is set. I'm heading into the spot that I scouted to glass this morning, looking for deer that are heading back from the private property on the boundary of the forest back to their bedding areas. I'll hike in there. I've got a fair hike ahead of me. Hike in there and set up and look forward to enjoying the morning out in the forest again. I'll drop in some screen grabs from Avenza Maps, the navigation app that I use. It's pretty good and certainly a big help when you're navigating around in the dark. That uphill stretch at the end was a bit steep in the dark. I'm here at my glassing spot. It's about 20 minutes before shooting light. I'll set up my gear and when it gets to shooting light I'll start scouting and hopefully we'll find some deer and harvest one. thermal imager works by identifying heat contrast, so it works in the day as well as at night. During the day, objects that accumulate heat tend to blow out the image, like rocks and tree stumps, so it makes it a bit harder to identify animals, but the thermal still works during the day. It's obviously better at night or first thing in the morning. It's a beautiful morning, the sun's out. I would have expected that if we were going to see deer this morning, we would have by now. They should be out sunning or making their way back into the forest. It's time to pack up and start heading back. It's a fair hike, and I'll keep scouting as I'm hiking. Well, there's a couple of rub trees that I've walked past in the dark in my way in. This game trail leads to a crossing on the road. You can see the deer tracks here on this side, heading down into this swampy area that leads into the private property that's on the boundary. Here's some fresh tracks from since the rain. This animal was either walked in last night or early this morning. Thanks for joining me on this episode. I really enjoyed this hunt and hope you have too. Based on the sign I've seen, I'll be back to this forest real soon and we'll post an episode for that.